If you're always making white chapatis, try out these easy and simple pumpkin chapatis, which are going to be turning out so awesome, soft layered, easily foldable because they're super soft and they're totally going to be the best. I have around 20 chapatis which are going to be for my lunch, and I'm totally going to be enjoying with some beef stew. You can also enjoy with some chicken or even mutton stew. And if you're a vegan, you can try any vegan curry and it's going to be the best. You can check the ingredients in the description box for the full recipe, which is very basic. And also you can find some more chapati recipes in the description box or up here. So hope you'll be trying out this easy and delicious pumpkin recipe. To make this soft layered pumpkin chapati, you'll need some fresh pumpkin, of course. So over here I have mine, which I'm going to be peeling and then cubing, boiling, and then we are going to mash into a puree. So with a sharp knife, you're going to pick your pumpkin and cut into manageable sizes so that you can peel. And then it's going to be simpler for you to peel your pumpkin. So carefully, you're going to get under the skin of the pumpkin and peel. Once done, you're going to place aside and then you're going to finish off peeling your pumpkin. When done peeling your pumpkin, you're going to cut into medium sizes. Once done, you're going to move over to your stove top where you've placed a pot with some water. You're going to be boiling your pumpkin. So I'm going to transfer the pumpkin into my pot. Add in a little bit of salt to the pumpkin and wait for around 5 to 6 minutes and boil the pumpkin until it's fork tender. So I'm going to cover and wait for my pumpkin to get ready. Check if your pumpkin is ready by inserting a fork. Once the fork runs through, the pumpkin is ready. So I'm going to turn off the heat and then I'm going to drain off the water. Once you've drained the water, you're going to use a potato masher and mash up your pumpkin, and it's going to be effortless because the pumpkin is very tender. When mashed, you're going to place aside so that the pumpkin can cool a little bit. And then you're going to pick some warm water. That is water that is not too hot. Add in some sugar and salt. Using a spoon, you're going to whisk in the sugar and salt until fully combined. The sugar is going to balance out the salt in the pumpkin chapatis. So don't skip on that. Check if the water is seasoned perfectly. Mine needs a little bit more salt. So I'm going to pick my salt and add in around a 1/4 teaspoon of more salt and then stir. Check once more. Perfect. Remember, I added in a little bit more salt, so I'm trying to balance out the water and also the salt that I added in while boiling my pumpkin. So now I'm going to pick a bowl, and into my bowl I'm going to be adding in your all-purpose flour, water, I'm going to be slightly adding in water as I mix together with the all-purpose flour until a dough is formed. And I'm using a spoon. You can also use your hands. If you notice that the dough is too wet, you can add in some extra all-purpose flour and mix up using your hands or a spoon. So that is 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to scoop out some more for dusting my working surface. And when a dough is formed, I'm going to go in with my hands. Also, my pumpkin puree has cooled, so I'm going to transfer into my bowl. I'm going to fold in the pumpkin into the dough, and then I'm going to work my dough with using my fingers until the pumpkin is fully combined with the dough. You're going to knead for around 3 to 4 minutes until the dough is soft and elastic. And if you notice that the dough is super dry, you can add in little bit more of water. And if you notice that the dough is wet, you can add in some more all-purpose flour and work the dough until it's soft and elastic. Add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. After around 5 to 6 minutes, you're going to transfer your dough to a countertop, and then you're going to knead for another 3 minutes. So I'm going to sprinkle in some extra all-purpose flour and then work the dough. And this is going to make the dough very soft and elastic. Make sure to sprinkle some flour on your working surface as you work the dough. And once you're done working on the dough, you're going to be resting the dough in your bowl for around 15 to 20 minutes before you proceed to the next step. So I'm going to cover with a kitchen towel so that the dough doesn't dry off, and let the dough rest as I clear my working surface. After 15 minutes, you're ready to proceed to the next step. So you're going to flour your working surface. That is lightly adding in some flour, and then you're going to divide the dough in 2. I'm just making sure that the dough is equal, and then I'm going to work on the dough a little bit. Tuck the dough on the bottom side. Sprinkle a little bit more flour to my countertop, and you'll notice that the dough has bits of pumpkin, that is speckles of pumpkin. So I'm going to use my rolling pin and roll out the dough into a big rectangle. This is how I love making my chapatis, because it's easier and they are always soft layered. So I'm going to push horizontally and vertically until the dough is widely spread on my countertop. When done, you're going to add in 1 tablespoon of cooking oil to your dough. Using the palm of your hands, you're going to spread the oil on the dough, making sure to go to the edges. And using a pizza cutter or a knife, you're going to cut the dough into strips. It's going to be very easy for you when cutting using a pizza cutter. Then you're going to pick one strip of dough and then roll into a roll just like that. Tuck on the bottom side and place aside, and then you're going to be rolling out the rest. Make sure that the dough is even so that the chapatis can be the same size. I find that making chapati this way is very easy, and they always turn out amazing. So it's going to be a very quick recipe. Once done with the first round, I'm going to add in some more flour to my countertop and pick the dough that I placed aside. Work on the dough a little bit. And as you can see, the dough is not sticky at all because it's soft and elastic. But you need to sprinkle some more flour on your countertop. After rolling out your dough, it's time to cook your chapati. So you're going to place a heavy bottomed chapati pan over medium flame. Meanwhile, as the pan is heating up, you're going to pick your piece of dough, flour your surface, and then you're going to be rolling out using your rolling pin. So I'm going to make sure the surface is well floured and then press down the dough a little bit. And using my rolling pin, I'm going to roll out into a nice round shape. This is the tricky part for most of you. So you're going to roll horizontally and vertically until the dough is evenly stretched out. If you notice that your dough is sticking, just add in some more flour and roll out. As you're rolling out the dough, make sure not to roll out thinly in the middle because it's going to be very crispy in the middle, and then it's going to be cracking like crisps once the chapati is cooked. Just make sure to lightly press your rolling pin as you move around so that you can spread the dough evenly, just like this. And once your chapati, is it a chapati? And once your dough is round, check if your pan is ready. If it's ready, you're going to transfer to your pan and then wait for the chapati to cook as you make the rest. So this is a very fast step. And if it's a little bit tricky for you to roll out the dough into a big circle, just reduce the flames to low so that you can cook the chapati slowly because you don't want to mess up your chapati. But because I'm used to making chapatis, I'm going to be very fast. So I'm going to use a metallic spatula and flip my chapati so that it can cook on the other side. And I can tell the chapati is going to be super soft because as I'm cooking the chapati, at this point, it's looking very fluffy and has air pockets in it. That is on the inside. So this step is very crucial because it's the first step of cooking chapati on the inside. So don't skip on this. So once ready, I'm going to transfer to a plate, cover with a kitchen towel, and then I'm going to place my next piece of dough as I make the rest. So flour your surface, press down on the dough a little bit, and using your rolling pin, you're going to roll out the dough once more. check on my chapati and flip, and it's looking very lovely. Place my next chapati, and I always get lots of questions when it comes to chapati recipes. One of them being my chapati turns out super dry when I'm done making my chapati. So as you are kneading the dough, make sure it's not super hard or it's not super dry, because the chapatis are going to turn out dry once you're done making your chapati. So just make sure that the dough is soft and elastic, and you're going to get awesome chapatis. And another question is, how do I store my chapatis? So I usually store mine in a hot pot, the old school way. You can also store your chapatis in a plate and wrap with a cling film if you're serving the chapati to your family immediately. But if you're going to be serving your chapatis for your guests maybe later, you can store in a hot pot so that they can keep warm or stay warm. Flip my chapati, and be careful because the chapatis have air pockets in them. You don't want to burn your fingers. So once ready, I'm going to transfer to the rest. And then I'm going to be making or rolling out some more. I'm done cooking my chapatis on the inside. That is the second step. So now it's time to oil my chapatis, and they're looking so good. As you can see, they're very light and fluffy and super hot. So I'm going to transfer to the rest just to show you how the second step of making chapatis is looking. So this is how my chapatis are looking after the second step of cooking. And as you can see, they're very hot, very soft. As you can see, they're easily foldable, and they're not too thick and they're not too light. The third step is to oil your chapatis, and I'm going to be making in batches. So I'm going to pick 4 chapatis and place on my hot chapati pan, and using a spoon you're going to scoop out a little bit of oil, like half a teaspoon of oil. Lift up your chapati and move the chapati around so that you can spread the oil and also have those nice golden brown spots. And at this point it's going to be very fast, so you have to be on your toes. Once you notice some lovely golden spots like this, just like this, you're going to flip and add in some more cooking oil on the bottom chapati, and then you're going to flip the top one just like this. Move your chapati around so that you can add those lovely golden spots, and also add in some flavor by adding in some cooking oil. Flip the top one, add in some cooking oil, lift your chapati up so that the oil can seep in the middle, and then you're going to move your chapati around so that you can have those spots. As you're adding in the cooking oil, avoid adding in too much because your chapatis are going to turn out very crispy. And then once you keep the chapati in your hot pot or in as you serve the chapatis, they're going to turn out very dry because you added in too much oil and the chapati cooked until it was crispy. I don't know if I make sense, but just add in little bits of oil, not too much. My first chapati is ready, so I'm going to cover with a kitchen towel so that it doesn't dry off, and then flip. Wow, just look at that. So good. My second chapati is ready. Place on a plate. Because mine are for lunch and we're just having the chapati immediately is when I'm done, I'm not going to be keeping in a hot pot. Flip using your metal spatula or spoon. Add in some oil. The metal spatula is going to help you to lift up the hot chapatis so that you don't burn your fingers. You can also use the spatula to move the chapati around. Lift up your chapati, check if it's browning nicely. Flip the top one so that it can cook on the other side. Add in some oil, and it is as simple as that. The top one is ready. Place aside. Add in some oil. And in about 30 seconds, the chapati is going to be browned, or it's going to have some lovely spots on the bottom side. So keep watch so that you don't have those dark spots on your pumpkin chapatis. When ready, place aside and add in your next batch. I find that making chapati in batches is very easy, as you've seen. So I always do my chapatis, or I always cook my chapatis in fours. You're going to repeat until you're done with the rest of the chapatis, which is going to take me around 8 more minutes. Yeah. I'm almost done making my chapatis. So this is my last batch of 4 chapatis. So I'm going to place on my hot pan, add in some cooking oil, and repeat until all the chapatis are very lovely golden brown spots. When adding cooking oil to the chapatis, be patient. Just slightly tilt your chapatis as they are cooking in the pan, and then you'll have some awesome spots on them, just like that. Check if the chapati is browned perfectly, like mine. Flip, and then you're going to be adding in more cooking oil to the bottom one. If you can't make chapatis in batches, you can simply oil your chapatis one at a time, and still the chapatis are going to turn out awesome. Flip once more. Add some cooking oil. And yeah, it's that simple and easy. So if you've never tried out making chapati, try this recipe and you'll love every detailed step. Yes. And your chapatis are going to turn out very delicious. I have some more chapati recipes, so you can check up here or in the description box for the full recipes. And your chapatis are going to turn out awesome as always. Always cover your chapatis when oiling the chapatis, because you don't want them to dry out. So that is what I've been doing, and I have 2 more chapatis to go. And the moment you start oiling your chapatis, trust me, the kids are going to get in the house or in the kitchen, and they'll want around the first 5 chapatis so that they can enjoy while you make the rest. Flip. Gorgeous, so gorgeous. Place aside with the rest. It has been around an hour making my pumpkin chapatis, including the time for resting the dough and they have turned out very awesome, very soft and fluffy. As you can see, they're very easily foldable, and they're looking very delicious. They have a very nice yellow color from the pumpkin, and also you can spot some pumpkin fiber in the, is it fiber? Yeah, pumpkin fiber in the, or pumpkin spots in the chapatis, which are looking very awesome. I totally love how my pumpkin chapati has turned out, and because I've really explained how to make the best chapatis, hope you'll be trying out this easy and delicious pumpkin chapati recipe.